time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to your show live every weekday from 4 to 5 p.m. I am your host, Gary. I'm trying to do some rankings. I believe we went up in the rankings from yesterday. We were somewhere 500,000 or 600,000. Today, I believe we're down to like 453,000. Let me just check. 722nd ranked podcast in the Supporting Local Businesses podcast category. Check them out, SCS. Love those guys. Hope you're having a great day. Don't know why I threw the thumbs up like that, but it felt pretty cool. We got the Dragon, Le Dragon, on the ones and twos today. I missed you, buddy. Thank you for being here. As we always love when the Dragon is in the house, and I also love when we can go to the Mega Cam. Let's do it. Let's do a Mega Cam right now. She was, see, now she just turned her head. Other way. Other way. Look at her. Look at her go. Marge, I just want one little, yeah. Okay, now she's gone. Hold on. Keep it on there. The Mega Cam for our fantastic friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Mike and Rochelle, the whole team, they're always happy to help you out with whatever it is you need done, along with their beautiful puppy, Leroy. Come here. Look at this, the power of treats. Come. Their puppy, Leroy, who is currently dating Margaret, which is nice. They have a power couple when it comes to dogs, as well as Kirsten, Shar, and Chris, always there for all of your animal needs, as well as just to make your day better. They got you covered. Love our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. There it is. That's the fluffy butt. Love the fluffy butt on Margaret. We have a great show for you today, as we have a Thursday tradition. That tradition is checking in with CTV's Matt Young, and we're going to do that right away as I slowly ease into the transition. As he comes in, he hangs out. We learn a lot about gaming and local sports, as well as he's got a pretty sweet gig coming up tonight. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into that. Dragon, you go ahead and let's roll some CTV's Matt Young. You know, it's Thursday when CTV's Matt Young is in the house.
In the house, baby. Good
How
to see you.
doing,
Good to be
buddy?
back. I'm doing fantastic.
You
I'm
look
doing
better than
great.
ever.
Lots of cool stuff going on. Finally nice. By the way, it's nice. It's finally nice outside.
It only took how long?
I was wondering if summer was going to actually arrive, and it finally did.
See,
so
now-
here we are.
Now, you are a guy who's around a weather Doppler or whatever the heck they call it.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this officially here now? Do we get this for a little
You
while?
know
Or
what?
are we gone?
Expect better days ahead for summer. Expect
you.
things are going to be nice. I mean, I know I was out trying to get some fishing done over the last few weekends, and it was a bit tough because it wasn't great outside.
Nope.
But from what I'm hearing, and I think you're going to find this out over the next couple of days, folks, get out the suntan lotion because it's going to start getting hot, and sunny. So
Burn all your pants and your
There you
shirts.
go.
Nothing but just shorts and tarps off. I'm very excited.
Exactly right.
Dude, you got something going on behind us
We
here.
do have something going on. Are you watching the Stanley Cup Finals?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people are cheering for the Edmonton Oilers, right?
Yes.
And I always thought it would be nice to have my own NHL team. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, y'all dream of that, and you never think it could happen, right?
That's true.
Well, you know what? Of course, if you follow me on Twitter, I love sports. I love video games. Today, we are going to give Gary Nickel his own hockey team, and we're going to put it in Blades of Steel.
I'm trying so hard not to break my face with smiling because you said it perfectly. This is like a dream that you have growing up, bro.
Well, we're
This is
gonna
so cool.
we're gonna make the 8-bit version come
love it.
true.
I love it.
So of course, and while we're doing it, we're gonna talk some local sports.
Yes.
So this is gonna be fun. Okay. So right now,
I like this, by the way. It's like I'm the guest and you're on the show. You go.
Well,
this is the way I want it. This is how I hate working. You know that. And
Oh,
this
well,
isn't
well,
work,
there
but
you
it's,
go. There you go.
this
Well,
is an absolute
you know
pleasure.
what? This will be the easiest NHL team you ever owned.
Love it. Let's do it.
So, alrighty. So right now, Blades of Steel. We got it right on the screen. Remember
Blades of Steel.
Blades of
I remember the
Steel.
first time I rented it from Video Nights, which then became Avalon Video way back in the day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
man, hours and hours. But I always got pissed
yeah.
off that Edmonton had the Elks, I guess we call them, the Elks colors.
Yeah, that's right.
That bugged me.
They had the Edmonton Elks
Yeah.
colors that they
Very
had.
upsetting.
And you go rent games, you open up the thing. They come like some of them a black and white manual.
Yeah.
Sometimes the guy would say, "Sorry, man, no instruction manual."
Or
the
other
dude we rented to earlier lost it.
Or other times you get the instruction manual and there just be like wieners drawn all over it and stuff, just be totally ruined. You know what I mean? The guys
Yeah,
are like,
exactly.
no respect for the instruction manuals in the rental days.
There's a lot of torn up instruction
Yeah.
manuals that wound up in landfills, but
Totally.
we're gonna have some fun with this today. Okay.
Okay.
So this is Blades of Steel. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna X out of this. Now we talked about last week. We put you in Super Mario
So
Brothers
cool,
3.
man. I took like 80 pictures, by the way,
Oh,
of the title screen there.
And
when
I
we were done.
actually had some friends of mine who were like, "That's cool. Can you put me in that game?"
Yeah, well,
so
it's
we're
so
gonna,
neat. Coding, man, coding.
Well, we're going to do something that's a little bit different today, and it does involve some coding. So what I'm going to do is, if you're somebody who wants to mod video games and you want to take a Nintendo game or a Super Nintendo game and change it and make it your own, this is another way that you do it. It's not as artsy, right? But it's another way that you do it. So
It's the Matrix. You want me to zoom on that, or are you okay with like this? What do you want to do?
you know what?
Do some floor
We
directing.
can zoom in a little bit. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay. So now what you're looking at here, all this is this is a program that anybody can download. It's called transhexlation. Okay. And
Transhexlation.
because it's hex coding, hexadecimal coding,
Oh.
and it's meant to translate it so that you can learn how to alter it.
Hexadecimal was the bad guy, one of the bad guys in Reboot, that old cartoon. Megabytes. It was like Megabytes' right hand.
That.
I think Hexadecimal was a
Man.
woman too. She was
Reboot was
badass.
cool.
I love
Reboot
Reboot.
was super
What a
cool.
great show. Sorry to derail you. As
No,
we
that's great.
hexadecimal
That's
here.
great. I love it. This is what it's all about. Just
Okay.
kind of going where the road leads us. So, so what we're gonna do is this is hexadecimal coding, and all you're seeing is the red and blue rows are just. They look like scattered letters and numbers. But really, on the right side, okay, you see a whole bunch of characters that kind of don't really make sense at all.
Yeah.
So nobody can really read this. I mean, well, unless you're an expert computer programmer. The average person is going to read
it's
this
horrifying
and
to
see
look at for
nothing.
me,
So,
yeah.
so what we're going to do is we're going to search. We want to find somewhere in this code is the team names.
Oh. okay.
So what we're going to do is one of the team names, we could search for any one of them, but one of the team names is Chicago. So I can pull up a little box here that says search relative, and I can type in Chicago, and it will bring up in the text coding right there. That is where the Chicago team name is.
Heck.
Okay. And if we were to,
getting closer.
and what we can do, yeah, you can zoom in a
Yeah,
little bit.
this is
Exactly.
cool.
You know what? The coding
right
is,
in.
the coding is much nicer than my face. So what we'll do is,
Here we go.
and then over here, this one here, this whole set, that's Los Angeles. Okay. And so, but it's all in code. Now, what you have to do is you have to learn hex coding. I made up a basic spreadsheet of these letters and numbers and what they would actually translate on screen. Okay, so what you can see here is if you read this,
That's so cool.
E6 equals A, E7 equals B, E8 equals C. So all we're going to do is we're going to take these numbers and we're just going to redo them according to the letters of the alphabet that match up with the hex coding essentially, and we're gonna create your own team, and we're just gonna call it Gary Nickel.
You make
And
it
we can
sound
do
so
this with
easy.
anybody, right?
All right.
Okay, so the first letter in the team name that we're gonna alter here is F1, and that would be an L. F1 would be an L, but instead we're gonna change it and we're gonna make it into a G. Okay.
Okay.
So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and make this, and a G is EC, so we're gonna make this EC.
I feel like this
Go
would be
in
something
EC.
that like Indiana Jones would have to decipher. or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
like
you know
you're
what
in a
I mean?
movie.
You have the
gotta
manual and you have
figure
to
it out.
transcribe.
Right,
Yeah.
and the guy
Okay.
that's coming to get you is at the door, and
Yeah.
you're sitting there and
Run out of time.
run out of time.
Yeah, we gotta get in there.
So and then an A is E6, and then an A is E6. That's an A, and then an R is F7. So we'll make this F7. And then a Y is F. I think that's an FE. Yeah, FE. And then DB is space. And then an N. Where's the N there? Is F3. Yeah, okay. And then an I is EE. And by the way, it takes a while to learn this, but once you learn, you can do a lot of really cool stuff.
I keep going back to
And
the
then a
Matrix,
C is
man.
E8.
You're like Neo once you like discover your powers.
Which, by the way, the Matrix was an awesome set of movies.
And look at us, we're Matrixing right now.
We're Matrixing right now. I mean, this is what Neo was kind of foreshadowing.
You
right?
are so Neo. You could be Neo, and then I'd be like one of like the not so important side characters, like that guy,
EA.
or like Mouse. I think there was a girl named Mouse.
And L. I think there was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe like
there
a
was.
mouse.
There was. Okay. And then we go
Matrix
F1.
talk.
Wow. Okay. Now, so what this is going to do is what this should do is change this team name to Gary Nickel.
Oh boy.
Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go file and we're going to go save. And now we've saved that. Now, hopefully I've done this all right and it should work. So now we're going to take this and open this up, and we're going to open up, by the way, go Oilers. Hopefully they can come back, hey?
Dude, I don't like how everyone's saying that they're like favored now. Like
you know what?
you know?
People are starting to get a little ahead of themselves.
It's like driving me nuts as an Oilers fan.
There you go. Now, keep it on here because we're going to file. We're going to open this up. Now, hopefully this will work.
The big reveal.
Oh no, that's the wrong one. That's a
That's
Sochi.
Olympics.
That's
yeah.
an Olympic one. Which we
so
have.
Cool.
That's
of course you do.
There we go. There we go. This is the one right here. And
Blades
I can
of
show you the
Steel.
Olympic one later. Okay, so Blades of Steel. Boop, 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 boop.
We are.
And we go S. Whoops. Now hopefully this works.
1988.
Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go exhibition. We can go junior, and there is Gary Nickel. Isn't that awesome?
And
Right
it's just
there.
like a couple little things, and
It's
boom,
just
you're
a
in
couple little things, and boom, we're in. So you know what? I think why not? I'm actually gonna start the game.
Let's see him in action, man.
I mean,
Let's
is your
see how
team
these
good?
guys do.
Can you beat Edmonton?
No.
I guess we'll see. Let's play for a couple of minutes
This'll
and see
be
what happens here. Now,
fantastic. Yep.
the one thing that we haven't done is we haven't changed. There's coding, right? But we haven't changed the artwork, right? So we don't have like we could change the colors and stuff like that.
We're so close.
Okay, now,
There we go.
so there we're going. Now, so the team that we substituted you in for, that was
Yes.
actually Los Angeles, right? So that's
we
the
are.
team. That's the team. Now, I don't know. I'm
How you-
using
your buttons to
keyboard
play?
controls here. Keyboard
It's a good save
controls
there.
here.
Oh, and another
my
save.
goalie's
Here we
really
go.
good. Like, no.
I thought it was gonna be penalty shot. Oh,
goalie's
and he's still
making a
stopping
save.
it.
Look at that. That
is
goalie's
so
a
cool.
wall. There's nobody that can stop him. How do we go? How do we move?
Oh, come
How do
on,
we move?
Keys there.
Come
Oh,
on.
with
come
the
on.
pass,
There you
with
go.
the pass.
Remember, sometimes you could like
Oh,
score.
there it is. But now we can see. Now we can see. There's my Selly I love so much. We did that with the Neon Flamingos. Those are actually the Neon
Well,
Flamingos.
no, you're the
colors,
team
too.
that got scored.
Oh, yeah,
on.
no, I'm talking about my rec
Oh,
hockey
yeah,
team.
yeah,
We have
I
those.
see.
I just want to see this right here. Look at this. Oh, because it says LAM there. I
Because
see
and
what
why-
you're
we didn't
saying.
change
We
the
didn't change
artwork
inside. That's what you're talking
the
about.
we didn't change that part, so we would go in and do that. But that's
And we literally did this in like 4 minutes.
Yeah, we did this, but it shows you what you
so
could do. So it's
cool,
really,
man.
really cool. So this is fun. You can probably zoom back out. So I'm just
got
gonna
it.
let this play here for a
Yes,
bit.
we'll let that
and,
ride out.
And hopefully you don't get into a fight that you can't defend yourself in.
Oh, man,
but
I wouldn't be the first time. I've always taken a licking.
so
in
there you
Blades of
go.
Steel.
So there
That
you
is
go.
So cool.
Are you
buddy.
gonna watch any of the Stanley Cup final games?
Oh yeah, we
Okay.
are all over that.
on, right on.
And like I said, I'm getting really, really worried that this team is gonna sort of not be as aggressive as they have been these last two games, just because everyone's saying, "Oh, it's totally in their favor now. The Oilers are in the
They
driver's
got the
seat." This, and I was like,
hometown
no.
crowd. They got
That's
the
it.
hometown crowd. So that's good. And so they're in game 6. And if you can force a game 7, anything
Anything can happen. That's the thing. I
There
just
you go.
worry a lot because, like, I can't think of a more Edmonton Oiler thing to do than build up a huge amount of false confidence and go out there tomorrow night and lose like 8-0. Like
well,
just with that building will be
if this
rioting.
is any sign, so far in Blades of Steel, they're up 3-0. But they're not playing.
No one's
Florida.
playing, yeah.
They're playing you. So.
That's very true. That Bobrovsky guy is pretty
There
good.
you
Although
go.
he has looked like pretty beatable lately.
He has looked pretty beatable. He has looked pretty beatable. So I think they can do it. I hope they can do it. I'm glad they're not playing tonight because I wouldn't be able to watch because I'm actually going to be doing the PA announcing for the Saskatchewan Rattlers.
Throw down dunks.
There you go.
You know
there
what I'm
you
saying?
go.
That's so fun. So, and now, as a fellow PA guy, I had one quick year with the Rush. I was up top in the overhead. You're going to be right on floor level.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You still get that sort of, the PA announcer is sort of like, sort of this voice of God feeling like,
Yep.
here's who scored the goal.
Goal scored
but
by.
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to be actually down at the scorer's table or near the scorer's
That's
table
so
on the
cool.
court, which will be really fun and it'll be a good time. The Rattlers, look out. I mean, this is a good team this year. This is a playoff team. I absolutely think so. I believe they're 5-3 on the season so far. I can double check that, but the Rattlers are a good team, and I think they can make some noise. They're taking on the Calgary Surge, and Calgary's not a bad team either.
Who are some of the stars we should be looking out for? You got any of the big dogs out there?
Well, right. I'm just gonna bring up some stats here for just a moment. But the Rattlers, they start off with a couple of wins. Then they struggled a little bit after that. But they've really come on, and a couple of guys to watch. Obviously,
Harkless was that?
Yeah, Elijah Harkless. You got
Yeah,
Jalen
okay.
Harris.
Yes.
Those are a couple of guys that have been kind of leading the team, but they've had a lot of guys pitch in so far this season. So, and it's fun. It's great. I always say this. You know what? If you want to get out and have a good time and enjoy some time with some friends and family, and it's not just about the basketball.
It's the environment.
That's exactly right.
It's really cool.
They put on a great game presentation.
Yes.
People think basketball at SaskTel Center in the summertime, and I think it's a whole lot more than that.
It's so cool, man.
Right?
And as a guy who has been there, since the Storm days, since the Slam days, since the Hawks,
you
I've
go.
seen all the ball come through this. I even went to
Yeah.
that Denver Nuggets preseason game we had here when I was like 11 years old.
You know what? We showed some of that on.
It was
on
so
CTV.
cool. I saw
We have-
Dikembe Mutombo, dude.
That's right.
No.
It's interesting because at CTV in our archive room, we have tapes of all that stuff.
That's so cool.
Because back then, the local station would go and
what
shoot
you
the
do.
game. So
Yeah.
it's like I actually ended up watching for that. Now I don't know if I could point you out in the crowd. He was a
I
little
don't remember
younger
where I
back
sat,
then.
but it was a lot. It was probably the kid running around going crazy, trying to just cheer as loud as I can. I probably had a
you
shirt
go.
off too. I hate shirts, so that's probably the naked guy swinging it around. But it's like you say, basketball in that environment is so damn cool, and
Yeah.
it's extra exciting too because, like you said, the team's competitive, man.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot there for you to take
They're
in.
doing it, and they're doing First Nations night. They're actually going to be unveiling some jerseys with the star blanket design on them. So
it.
that's going to be really, really cool. So I encourage everyone, get out there. It's going to be a fun time. If you haven't been to a game this year, absolutely do it.
And not just because of the PA announcing. It's going to be fantastic. But I'm telling you, the ball's going to be pretty good too.
There you go. Exactly.
Hell yeah. Real quick, Barry's update. How the boys doing?
You know what? They're doing good. They've started to come on. It was a bit of a slow start to the season. They started stringing together some wins. And by the way, the Barry's crowds have been loud. I mean, if I was walking down in that area and I wasn't at the game, but I was just near the stadium, and it sounds like is there a Ratter game being played there?
I just picture a bunch of people playing the Holiday Park golf course, right in the middle of your backswing, and just the roars that would just get you, and then all the rage that would come with that because they get so loud.
Well, I'm checking, and I'll just quick stat check right now. But,
I love how you do that. See, normally on this show we never do any fact or stat checking, so I appreciate.
Well,
that.
I try to get a couple numbers out there.
It's a good thing to do.
But you know what? I mean, so far this year, they've won a few games. They could still make the playoffs. They're a pretty good team. They're coming on, and there's some great guys like Andrew Albers, who plays for the. He spent some time in the major leagues.
Yeah, he went over to Japan too.
Exactly.
Like he crushed it.
I mean, there's some local talent on this team that is really, really good, and so I encourage guys to get out there, and that's another one where it's not just baseball. It's just a night
Experience, man. It's a night out at the ballpark.
And the weather's perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
And Snoop Dogg wore a Barry's jersey yesterday, so they got
Snoop
that Snoop
Dogg.
lock. They got the Snoop lock.
That
going.
is awesome. By the way, were you a Snoop Dogg fan?
I was a huge Snoop Dogg fan.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't make it to the show last night because
No, I didn't either.
I'm lazy and I don't like leaving my house.
Right. Well, that's
But if there was
okay.
ever a reason for me, that would have been one.
Maybe we should have brought him to your house.
I tried
Snoop
to
Dogg.
get
Did you
him
try
in
to
here.
get him on?
I tried to get him in here for a pre-show. No response from Live Nation. I think it was Live Nation that was promoting.
Oh,
so
wow.
we'll try
you
next
know
time.
what? Try next time. One day you'll get him on. Snoop Dogg's great. He's a sports fan too.
Huge sports fan.
Huge sports fan. And
so
and from what I understand, he treated the crowd well. Guys, he's what, 52, 53?
he's up there now. Yeah.
Still got it. He's absolutely not slowed down one bit. He's rolling.
When you're as good as Snoop,
when you're as
it never
good as
goes
Snoop.
away,
there
man.
you
Right?
go.
You got that
there
swag.
you go. There you go.
Right on, brother. Anything else?
You know what? I mean, we got a lot going on. Next week, next Thursday, I'm hoping to bring in some Saskatoon Hilltop stuff related to video games. So we're going to do some of that. And then, hey, you know what? Before you know it, we're looking at 2 months till Huskies start hitting the gridiron for training camp. All kinds of things going on.
Get that Tecmo Super Bowl
There
ready to
you
go.
And by the way, I know you like playing NES golf. So I think
time.
we got to we're going to have some fun with some NES golf too. As I was thinking about that the other day. Somehow we're going to get Gary Nickel in NES golf.
It keeps
in fact,
getting better.
And maybe you at home, if you want to be in a video
Yes.
game, let us know. Let him know. Say, I want to be in a video game. We'll see if we can do it. There you go, man.
His name is Matt Young. You know him from CTV. The handle is CTV Matt Young. Very easy to remember. Check it out in not just the coding and the gaming stuff, but also all the news stuff, the
There you
attendance
go.
stuff,
All
weather
things
stuff.
Saskatoon. There
Literally
you go.
the only person you need to follow to be fully informed on everything. That's how I like to describe
besides you need to follow you too.
Ah.
Because you can get the Gary Nickel show and learn everything else. There
Some
you
people
go.
would say you don't need it, but I digress. Brother, thank you so much for giving us a couple minutes each and every Thursday. Greatly
100%.
appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely.
Have fun tonight.
I will. It'll be a good time.
There he is, the great Matt Young from CTV in the house, as he joins us every Thursday, and we talk about games and the local sports scene, which is pretty good. Welcome to the Thursday edition of your show on YouTube, and let me just get the notes. Anywhere you can find better podcasts. Is that right? Yeah? What? You didn't sound very confident. Is that like a knock that ours aren't very good? Is that like a joke that someone got us going on? You look very confused. Better podcasts than ours. You can find them on the Spotifys and the Apple books and the places with the podcasts where guys go to be like, hey, I want to listen to that. We have audio versions of this very one. Shout out to my main man, Adam, my letter carrier around here. I love you, buddy. I know he's always listening to these audio versions. So always happy to have you on board. Also on Thursdays or Fridays, usually rolling into the end of the week, we like to bring in a man named Ugly Kid Joel. You know him from Hometown Rock, and he is our eyes and ears with the music scene. I also just realized I need to stop setting up these previously recorded segments by saying what I say when they start. It's not good for continuity. Bad transitions, hey? Yeah, well, we always mess up, so we don't worry about that. So instead of saying again what I just said to introduce this, I'm just going to say, Dragon, let's go ahead and roll that next interview. It's him.
Me?
Not so ugly kid Joel today. Dude, what is up with the outfit?
I didn't have time to get home and change and put on sweats, so this is my work attire. I pretend to be professional at times.
You didn't get the memo?
Are those Christmas pajama pants?
It's always Christmas in the damn studios, bro. Let me tell you. Ugly Kid Joel, you know him from Hometown Rock. He is also our eyes and ears when it comes to the local music scene. And I just can't get. Is that a band shirt? What are you wearing for the shirt today?
It's Brothers G.
Man,
yeah.
are you guys married yet?
No, but I would be
are?
okay if I were
I'm pretty sure you're already an honorary member of the Hafford community. Is that correct?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Hell yeah, the Hafford boys in the house. So we got Brothers G to talk about what else is going on in the world of local music.
Big local artist that you know quite well over here at DAM.
Oh.
One Bad Son.
Yeah, Too Young to Burn,
Too
baby.
Young to Burn, brand new music
Here we
out today.
go.
Very excited. It's a cover song from a band who I have not heard of before.
Those are the good ones to cover.
But I've listened to both versions. Their version it knocks it out of the park. So.
It's our boys.
We
Absolutely.
we love Shane and Kurt. They were in studio today
I was gonna
chatting with
ask.
us. Yeah,
Yes.
so they made their stop in and recorded some videos and did some chat with Whitney and Sully and I. And, it's always a pleasure to have them come in because people love One Bad Son in Saskatoon.
If you love them so much that you want to hear and watch them talk about their careers, we got them here. One Bad Podcast is the name of the show. Every Friday we drop a new one, including tomorrow will be episode 5, which is pretty exciting.
When you do like a link on the screen here.
I don't know. Well, we could, but we don't have any producers right now. DufferinAve.com. Head on over. Normally there'd be something right here going woo, which is always fun. I do like
I'm just keeping you on your toes.
And I will say this as well. The intro song for the podcast is Too Young to Burn.
Really?
It's got the hook for
All
it,
right.
yes. So that was a little teaser going into it
Oh, I love it. It's
as they
a
launch yet another album, hey?
fantastic
Is it an
song.
album?
The album is coming soon.
So we do call it an album
Yes,
still.
I'm
Okay.
told it's an album. I know I think it's been pushed back a couple times. They want to wait until it's good and ready.
Yeah.
I'm guessing August.
Classic musicians.
Just throwing that
eh?
off the top of my head.
Classic musicians. Outrageous. So we got new One Bad Son today. You can hear it all over, I guess, radio stations everywhere.
Stations, streaming,
Especially on
everywhere you
Rock
wanna
102,
find it.
though, because Rock 102 and One Bad Son have been tight since day
Oh
one.
yeah, that's
what we do.
something to do with you. Along those lines.
Nah, they're really good at what they do. So all
They
the
are.
love to the boys with that big release today. I hope you're playing it lots.
It's going straight into the heavy rotation. We
And
love our
just-
One Bad Son.
Just so you know, the word heavy rotation is never used lightly. It's not a lightly rotated thing. So if you get in a heavy rotation, that's a real big thing. And this is the guy that does all that. So thank you to you for supporting the boys.
We love the song, and we are going to beat you over the head with it because it is good, and you should listen to it.
I get so proud. I get so damn proud every time I hear you making things happen with all of, not just one, like it's easy with One Bad Son,
Yeah.
obviously, because they're already
They're
established. But
established.
all the other guys are bringing in, man. You're doing so much good for that, and we appreciate it. As far as shows go, what's the scene looking like?
Well, there is 2 shows, a variety of shows, 2 shows that I know about because they come on the show and talk to me about them. But it is Pride Parade on Saturday.
Here we go.
And not only will we be in the parade waving and smiling, then
Hold on, do you get to walk in it this year?
I get to walk in it this year instead of recording video like a creep from the
He was
sidelines.
so mad. We were walking it last year, and I was like, "Joel, let's get out of here." He's like, no, I just want to. So he's in the corners of like all because you walk a parade route. So he's on like the street corners of everyone taking pictures and videos. Like, man, it's just looking really weird.
Run a little bit to get ahead of you guys at
So
the next
funny.
street corner.
But you eventually walk this a bit, which
Yes.
is nice. So
So-
that's good. So you're going full time this year?
I am told I'm actually
Nice.
walking in it this year.
That'll be great.
Which will be fun. It was a fantastic time last year. Great turnout. I'm expecting. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
You
so
too.
it should be. Yeah, there you go.
So I always make like it's my instinct to make that joke whenever anyone says that. So with Pride going on, we got some shows.
Yeah, so when Pride ends, it kind of ends down by the hotels near River Landing there in that area. And then if you kind of keep on going down to, I think it's called Friendship Park,
Yes.
which is, I think, near the Sugar Shack.
I believe so. Remember, you're talking to a guy who never leaves his house.
I run past it every day, and I didn't know it was called Friendship Park.
Look at me.
Look
as
at
I
me.
go
I
running
like to
every
eat
day.
bad food, so I have to run.
So do I, and I don't run.
I try to run from my problems, but somehow they're still there when I get back.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So we got a show going on there?
Yeah, there's a bunch of live music going on at Friendship Park right after the parade ends. There's some beer gardens down there. You can hang out. I'm going to be there having a couple beers and relaxing after the very hard job of walking in a parade.
You know, you say it's not hard, but when it's really hot, man, and you got some weight to you, it gets a little hard by the end.
Yeah, I'm not going to wear flip-flops this year. I learned my lesson.
Smart.
But yeah, there's a bunch of live local music going on there. 2 bands that I know of because they've told me they're going to be there is Blind Commentary
Nice.
and The Radiant are going to both be performing.
We love the radio.
So I think The Radiant's shutting it down. They've got their new song Formulaic out right now that we've tossed into rotation. It's getting some love online, so I'm very excited to see both of those bands.
You gotta be careful, man. You're slowly turning that heavy rotation into a local rotation, which is sometimes frowned upon. I love it.
We're
It's
walking a
great
fine
thing.
line.
And that's how you know you're making a difference. I'm so happy and proud of you. What's coming up? I guess the end of this week and next week for Hometown Rock.
Tonight is One Bad Son, of course. And then tomorrow we're chatting with Michaela from The Radiant, checking in back with her. And then next week, I haven't done a great deal of planning. I'm not going to lie.
You're supposed to fake it till you make it, man. We got tons of amazing bands to show you next week.
We've
at
got all
8
sorts of
p.m.
things
Monday to
going
Friday
on.
on Hometown Rock.
If you want to hear some other local stuff going on, just down the road in Regina, there is a fantastic band called The Hour Hand.
Yeah.
They can shred. I've caught them a couple times. They're
Dude.
an amazing live show. Like, it's a show and a show.
Is it? And are they not just a three-piece?
Three-piece
And
band.
they just go.
Oh, Gray and Cole are on the guitars at the front, and they are giving you a show. Not only is the music fantastic, you're getting this amazing show as well. If you ever get a chance to see them, highly recommend it. They've got a new song called Candy coming out next week, so we're going to have them on to release that. And then just something else going on. I'm going to be over at the Capitol Music Club tonight. Greg Ori, our buddy, has got his album release party tonight. So it's been a week, and I want to just enjoy some live music and have a beer. And there's some really good food at the Capitol too. So that's where I'll be tonight.
I got to tell you, it really sounds like you're settling in to the Ugly Kid Joel Phase 2. Once the paper bag came off, man, it's like you're just like, okay, we got to go full now. I can't hide my identity anymore. I'm going to be Mr. Local Music.
I got tired of trying to talk with a paper bag on my head. Believe it or not, it makes a lot of noise when you're wearing a paper bag. Yeah, it's kind of crinkly. So.
It's like this. Oh, how are you? I love your music.
And I just thought it was time to take it off and expose my even uglier face to the world.
I was just going to say, I feel like we were a lot safer when you were hiding that beautiful, beautiful face of yours, and now everyone's gonna be throwing themselves at you, buddy.
Oh, throwing themselves out of the way of me. Oh God, he's coming! Get out of the way! Hide the children!
Ugly Kid Joel is his name. Each and every weekday evening at 8 p.m. you can hear him on Hometown Rock. He also does some stuff on the weekend. Are you still tracking on the weekends?
I am on 6 till 9 on Saturday night, where I happen to maybe just slide in a few extra local songs during that period of time as well.
My heart. Oh, my heart. The dream is coming true. What's the Batman line? It's like, you're the hero we don't deserve, but the hero we need, or something like that.
Oh, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. You're my hero.
I always think of the lines like, did they, just because they can, did they ever stop to think if they should? And that I think that describes me well.
Interesting. That doesn't even process in my head, so I'm just going to move right along. Bro, I love you. Thank you for giving us some time.
Anytime.
And keep killing it like you always do, and we'll check in with you again, hopefully very soon.
I'll be around.
That was mysterious. Man, we got some good finishes to those previously recorded interviews right there. Thank you again to Ugly Kid Joel. Hometown Rock, weeknights, 8 p.m. on Rock 102. Be sure to check him out. That dude is making it happen. As your show continues, by the way, Nickel Plumbing and Heating, great business if you're looking for plumbing and or heating. They got you covered, all right, as well as our buddies over at Aquaman Limited. Look at that. The rotation's getting better as it continues to grow. Not just underwater drone inspections, so much more. Sample monitoring is one of them. Check them out. Lloydminster and Saskatchewan. That is a true story. If you ever want to be a part of what goes on around here, Dragon, let's serve one up here. Oh, I was low. I don't really do an ISO one very well. Head on over to dufferinave.com. That's so hard. Oh, don't be gross, Dragon. You head there, get signed up. If you're a creator, you want to create some content with us, let us know. If you want to be an advertiser or a supporter, whatever it is, come on over. We always say no one's here to get rich. We just want to make sure everyone gets comfortable, and that is what we are all about. That and checking in with all of our old friends. As a guy who's been around this city my entire life, hold on, Wendy Brooks Media, if you hate social media, call her up. She'll fix it. I literally don't do a single thing on social media, and I cannot express enough about how good it has been for my mental state by not having to deal with that. So thank you to Brooksy and Wendy Brooks Media. Speaking of checking in with old buddies, I had a stranger walk up to the studios here, the beautiful Dufferin Avenue Media Network studios on the Sonner Concrete Services clubhouse grounds, hallowed grounds, as they built this place. And I looked at Dragon, I was like, Dragon, you know who this guy is? He's like, no, and he actually did, which was even funnier. I don't know why you sound like Sylvester Stallone when I talk to you. And then the closer my man got, I said, oh my God, I do know that man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Heavy Debbie! There, thank you, Coach. Yeah, Coach is here too, Coach number 2. in the house. Now, I call him Heavy Devi because this dude is as hard as Devin Townsend, whose nickname is Heavy Devi, and he sings in Strapping Young Lad along with the Devin Townsend Project. The guy is a musical legend. With that in mind, how are you, old friend?
Good, I'm just happy to be here.
Dude, goaltender for the Neon Flamingos.
Closer.
Oh, are you doing mic tips now?
I'm doing mic tips.
That's
He's
good.
an expert now, I guess.
graduated.
As we bonded over the years through the Neon Flamingos and rec sports as a whole, and a little bit of, well, for me, it's budget gambling. I also like to use the term degenerate gambling, but it's good to know that I'm not the only one that loses all the time. So that's nice too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on a hot streak a little bit lately.
There it is.
Big fan of the no-run first innings.
Ooh, in
Those hit
ball,
pretty
hey?
good. And you only got to sweat 6 outs early
That's
too.
it.
So
What do they pay? What kind of odds do you play with there?
usually it's like 1.8.
Oh, well, that's not horrible.
We're going Canadian lines, but you parlay a couple. I'll usually do 4 of them, and
I was just going to ask you if you can do that because as the budget gambler, I don't like to put out more than like $4 or $5, so that just wouldn't be worth it at a 1.8. But you max that out, 6 or 7 together, and then you're cooking.
I like
Exactly.
the make the cut gambles.
Make the
on
cut bet? Yeah,
on
it's always a good one.
In the golf world.
Oh, that's a fun one too.
when Scotty
make the
Scheffler's
cut.
like minus 10,000 or 100,000 to make the cut.
When you bet on him,
Some
it's,
guy bets 50 grand on it to make like $1.
when you bet on
It's not
him,
that, but if you same thing,
Yeah.
parlay 20 guys. You pick your 20 guys that you think are going to make the cut, and then it's I've seen a dude put $20 down, win 10 grand. So
Can you imagine if you bet like was it Molinari last week?
oh,
When he
hole, hole in one on 18.
Hole in one on 18 to make the
make the
cut.
cut.
Can you imagine if you were
How
one of
fun
those
is that?
guys sweating that one?
Yeah,
I got a fun bet right now
Oh.
where I did
turning into the betting show.
Celtics to win the
Okay.
title. So that wasn't, the odds were like minus 200 or whatever. And then I looked around. I was like, what else could I do? Well, let's have the Oilers win the cup, right? So I stacked those together.
What was the series at when you did that one? 3-1, 3-0?
No, start of the
start of the series,
playoffs,
yeah.
right? So
I
then I
remember
had
this bet. This is a good
Celtics,
bet.
Oilers, and then but it still is not paying that well. But so I'm like, can I stack something else that'll look good? And what's cool about the website that I use, they do you can buy out of the bet, like they'll
Yeah,
offer
the
you
cash out,
cash
yeah.
outs, right? So I added the Dodgers to win the World Series, and then the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
You
So
think
if-
they're going to three-peat?
I don't, but
this
I'm
was
thinking that
before.
they'll be high enough rated that if I just have the Celtics and the Oilers, it might pay higher than what if I just bet on those two.
He did want.
You know what I'm saying?
You did ask whether you should cash out, and I told you don't you dare.
And look where I am now. I'm going to
Yeah.
lose my money.
That's fine. You don't bet much anyway. As how we continue. The reason that we got my man Devi here isn't just because he's a former Neon Flamingo, isn't just because he's one hell of a goalie and a great guy, but it's also because he is a WHL insider to the point where he's even embarrassed by it. That's how you know that he is legit. So getting right into the dub, my friend, the question everyone wants to know. How bad is the rebuild going to be around Saskatoon here in the next couple of years?
I think they make the playoffs next year.
Now I love that. Coming in hot.
Yeah.
All right, how does that happen?
They
Super fan.
super fan, yeah. Way too long. A lot of years of disappointment. Anyways. With them it's they obviously you lose a lot of good guys. You lose your 320. So Wright played a lot of big minutes on the back end. Armstrong had 30 goals. Wong had 100 points.
Oh, Wonger.
And then you're going to lose Sidorov, who had 50 goals. You're going to lose Suzdalev. Obviously, you're going to lose Minton, who's by far their best player. But they have a lot of guys who, like, if you look at it, technically they're a top 6 team in the CHL this year. They had some guys playing big minutes for them who are going to be back next year. So you have like Lucas Hansen, you have Misha Voltovsky, you have Tyler Parr. And then you even have some young guys. Willie James is a 16-year-old. Hudson Kibblewhite's a 16-year-old. Evan Gardner probably would have won Rookie of the Year if it wasn't for Gavin McKenna, I think.
Yeah. Hell of a goalie.
They had a couple. Like Braden Klimke played some minutes this year. He's a 16-year-old guy. They still get Tanner Molendyke back.
Big one.
They'll get Brandon Lazowski back. He's had 30 goals in 3 straight seasons.
Okay.
Morgan Tastad's still there. Graydon Seatman will be back as a 20-year-old. I think they have a lot of decent guys. It just depends if they decide to really blow it up come December.
I guess that's sort of just what we're used to when you go for it in the dub, as the Blades did it not too long ago before, and it didn't go so well when we hosted here, and that was sort of, I think that lingers when you go into a situation like this. Like, how much did they actually give up to go for it this year? Like, what was at stake?
I'm going to argue with what you said. They
I
didn't
love
go great, but when they performed, you could tell they were outclassed because there was Max Domi and
Bo Horvat.
Horvat they were like every team, and then there's McKinnon and Druin, so they were outclassed big time. But those guys battled hard. They won a game. They didn't embarrass themselves. Now go back to what you're talking
Well, I
about.
didn't say they embarrassed themselves.
It's also like lost in that season is the fact that come January that year, they weren't even a playoff spot. They won like 17 straight games. That season set the franchise record. It's like they got hot at the right time, but they came into the playoffs and then.
Well, that's the problem too. When you get hot at the right time and you lose early and you're hosting, guess what? Now you're sitting there doing nothing for a month and
Just
everyone gets
grinding
cold
at
again.
Agritwin.
For sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it worked
Get your
out. It worked
laughs in.
out for Saginaw this year, I guess.
Yeah.
They
That's the other side.
They
of the
made
coin.
like the third round still. I don't think it won't be nearly. They changed the rules a little bit after the Swift Current debacle in like 2018.
Ooh.
you're
What was
not-
that? What happened?
Well, they just traded everyone to go for it that year. So that's the year they had Stuart Skinner
Yeah.
that year. They traded
goalie.
for him, and then they had Tyler Steenbergen and Alexei Heponiemi and stuff. So, but they traded literally everyone. Like they traded all their prospects. They traded everyone, and then after that year, they kind of you're not really allowed to trade your prospects like that. You can still trade the picks, but it was like come the next year when they were coming into camp, they didn't even have enough players for a camp because they had traded so many people away.
Yeah, but then
And then they were terrible for like 4 years.
Yeah.
But then that rule's weird because the Blades traded 4 firsts?
Yeah. Yeah,
Was
they
that
like
for
going
Shen?
after
No,
this season.
Oh, this year.
This year
Okay, yeah.
after like the season ended, it was they didn't have a pick in the top 5 rounds for the next 3 years, I think, or 4 years.
How are you supposed to rebuild like that?
I mean, they're still...
Yeah, they have they have some good prospects. Like Zach Olson's really good, and Colton Witherspoon's pretty good. But it's just I don't know. They had a lot of 19-year-olds last year. Like they already traded Von Waterhout, so
Yeah.
they got Ben Reich back for that. But it depends. Like a guy like Tanner Molendyk, like hopefully I think he'll be back next year.
And that
But-
goaltending situation, right?
Yeah.
They're tight.
I mean,
in the
yeah, if they
pipes.
really, really wanted to trade Gardner, he's going to go in the draft next week here probably. But a guy like Molendyk in the WHL, it's like he's a guy you're going to
fast.
get 2 first-round picks for, right? So you can replenish that pretty quick.
But then again, that's you just throwing the current season
Yeah.
away, right?
But they're probably if they kept the team that they have right now, they'd probably get in as a 7 or 8 seed in the playoffs anyways. So it's like you kind of have to weigh that option. Colin Priestner has a lot of things to get done, I think.
A lot
this
of work
year to
to
try and
do.
replenish the
You
pick pool, I guess.
you did mention the draft here coming up right away. There is, I believe, a Saskatoon kid in that mix. Is that correct?
Berkeley Catton, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
I hear he's pretty good. What's the story on Berkeley?
He's good, obviously.
It's a good short story. I like that.
It looks. I obviously like he plays in Spokane. I haven't watched much of him this year, but seems like he had a really good year. He had 100 points this year as a draft eligible kid, and somehow he still slipped in the rankings a little bit. I don't really know how, but he's not super super big, but a lot of skill. He's a good 2-way guy. He can play defense too, so he's for sure going to go in the first round, maybe the top 10. So
Where did he
hearing
play,
that.
did you say?
Spokane.
Okay.
For who?
Spokane,
Yeah, but like he's a draft eligible for...
the NHL draft.
The
the
draft.
NHL draft.
Yeah.
You're talking
Sorry.
the NHL draft. I thought we were
Yeah,
talking about...
That's my
we
bad.
were transitioning.
I did not voice that clearly enough, and I apologize. It's just cool to hear stuff like that, like players you can get behind. That could be a new favorite player if you live in Saskatoon. And like the pipeline right now with this city is very exciting, as we also got my main man, Roger McQueen, who's being scouted quite heavily. And hearing through the grapevine, he might be at the draft getting a little taste of it coming up here, which is he's not draft eligible, but just
Next
to take
year.
it all in. Yeah.
But he is still...
But like,
he's-
we could have 2 like big time top 10 picks coming out of our lovely city in the next 2 years of the NHL draft, which is super exciting to me.
Fun little side story. My son has a little rotator cuff issue. I took advantage of being cousins with Kelly Rio, so I went to NLT, walk in there, and Kelly was not something he typically does, but he's got the crew there. So he had, I forget everyone's names, but Queener was there.
Yep.
Paul's was there. 3 other guys. I could look in my phone and tell you their names.
all good.
I'm not going to name drop,
Yeah.
but they got their little workout crew there. But Roger's there. Like, you could tell he's related to Pete, like it's crazy. And
Good old
then,
pistol, yeah.
and not a bad thing. Pete's a tall glass of water himself, right? So I
Handsomest
look
guy I've
in,
ever
beautiful
showered
man,
with,
yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah.
handsome young man comes up, and he comes out. He's like, "So you're off to Okotoks this weekend, I hear." I was like, "Yes, Roger, we are off to Okotoks. Actually, in 10 minutes, we're just doing some
Quick little
diagnostics here on the child here and
on the
stuff."
cuff,
And then
yeah.
and then he just started talking about the flamingos, and just it's crazy to know that there's a guy
It's
that
exciting,
could be a high,
right?
a high draft pick talking
he'll be
about
a
our
top 10 guy
loser
next year.
recreational life.
Like,
you know?
I would love to just see how much it would cost for us to bring back the flamingos. As I don't know if I told you guys that, I'm bringing back the flamingos. And let's just get them signed. Be like, you know what? The show, you guys make it look like it's hard to do. We'll do it. Don't worry. The show is overrated. Come play with the flamingos. That'd be a great reason to come back, right?
Yeah.
Get Raj out there.
Get
Maybe we
a
can
few
get
mil. Yeah.
his old ball's dad has been out a couple times too. He's always
Yes,
fun to
he's
skate
good.
with.
Yeah,
Makes
he's
you swear.
Roger's a good player.
Yeah. It's very
he'll
exciting for this city right now, is what I'm saying. With
He'll
hockey
put up some
players.
serious points
It's very
next year.
cool. I love
Brandon will be a decent team.
All right, moving from the dub to the big times. As tomorrow night we got Game 6 going down. I mean, I've gone back and forth and back again about how can you justify saying in the media, like as a talking head in the media, going out and legitimately saying that the Oilers are in the driver's seat when they still have to win 2 more games. Like, I've heard that being thrown around.
No,
Like,
they're
right,
not in
thank
the
you.
driver's
Okay,
seat.
thank God. I
They're
thought I
not-
was crazy
it's
when
not. You're
I
never-
was reading that. Who says that?
Okay, the only argument that can be made is what's the least secure lead in hockey is a 1-goal lead, right? So you're winning 1-0, you're winning 2-1, you're winning 3-2,
Too close
4-3,
for my
whatever.
liking.
You're almost playing flat-footed at that point because you're just preserving the lead. So you're filling lanes, you're getting pucks deep, you're not really taking those risks to score when the other team's going for it at all. And when they get that momentum, that doesn't switch. So the only thing that I would compare the situation is they're down by 1, right? They're going to be at home for that 1.
Yes.
So I understand how the Canadian media is getting excited.
Ugh.
Before they were in the dumps. They want this game to be as crazy as humanly possible. They want it to be insane in the rink. They want the ratings
And
all over the place.
it's going to be insane.
And it's going
to be a
insane.
madhouse in that place.
But yeah, and they want that. So it's like they're going to say they're in the driver's seat. They got it. But that's a dangerous thing to do.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
a very dangerous thing
The
to say
hell
because
are
the
they
reality
thinking?
is they go up by a goal in that game. Well, all Florida has to do is score 2 and they win the Stanley Cup, right? And you
Yeah.
don't think that they're going to be grinding and going for it. So, yeah, it's a dangerous thing to say. I didn't mean to steal that.
I do think that Edmonton wins Game 6 though at home.
Ooh, and just,
I don't think there's any way they're losing Game 6. My personal prediction is they win Game 6 and then lose Game 7
And triple overtime or something awesome.
I'm not. Yeah, I just think that they'll push it to 7 and then I think Florida will close it out in Game 7. I don't think there's any way they possibly could blow a 3-0 lead. Could they?
I said it to CTV's Matt Young earlier. Wouldn't it be the most Edmonton Oiler thing to do to go out there tonight flat-footed, end up down 5-0 at the end of the first?
Yeah.
Like that would it just seems inevitable to me with how this team operates. Then you know we love stats. Everyone loves stats, and Coach, you brought out the big stat of after losing 3 games in a row, they won 5 and then 16.
With
and then,
credit to X person at something. Someone on the at.
We're not big enough to give people credit, are we?
You're supposed to. So
Oh,
I'm doing it.
well, you're acting
Somebody
like
said
we're
that.
journalists.
Always
We're not
cite your sources, for
We're
sure.
not journalists, boys. This is an opinion show. What's that, Dragon? Yeah, my source is this guy.
And
There you
I
go, it's cited.
found it on the X, and it was an image, and I didn't read who posted the image. I was just captivated by the image.
I think it was like a screenshot from Sportsnet. Didn't Sportsnet actually
can credit
show it on
Sportsnet for
yeah.
that.
Thank you. So
Sportsnet,
shout out
please,
Sportsnet.
please don't come after us and copyright infringe us. That would be just the worst thing to do.
Also, if you are watching the Sportsnet, would you mind us putting together a little highlight pack?
You want to do that? Okay.
A little highlight pack of the Stanley Cup
So,
playoffs
Debbie,
with some
I'll get you-
Australian band.
I'll get you caught up here. Every Wednesday, we check in with Coach Number 1. We call him as Coach. Over here became Coach Number 2, thanks to Coach Number 1, who is my old ball coach way, way back, and he's a family friend, real good dude named Adrian Belarjon. And he was talking about how there's this song from this band called those like
Hunters and Collectors.
There it is, Hunters and Collectors. And Coach just nonchalantly says, "Hey, you want to just like throw together a little edited video of like a bunch of the highlights from the playoffs and put this music over top?" I was like, "No, I don't." Because if you've ever edited a video, you have to watch the entire game, find the hottest clips, then bring them into your system, and then trim them up and put them back to back, and then link them up to the different tune of the song and how it carries. And it's a good like 4 to 5 hour completion project. And it would be great if it was going somewhere, but
And
we
if
don't
you
even know who
tune
to
into
put it.
the Dude podcast,
Dude
which
podcast.
isn't live, so whenever we post this, we'll
Yep.
tell you how that goes tomorrow night.
Are you acting like we're going to do it? I don't.
We
think-
got to act like we're going to do something.
Well, yeah, but we're not going to put together that sweet video
All right, whatever.
unless Sportsnet lets us know they want it. Then we'll do it.
100%.
Okay, that's good. So basically, what I'm hearing tomorrow night, Oiler blowout in a loss.
I didn't-
reverse blowout.
yeah.
Oiler win.
I
And
think
then
Oilers
lose in
win.
7.
Yeah.
You? What you got? Don't think too hard. Because now
I'm
you're just
thinking
thinking
hard.
about
I'm scoring all the goals in my head right now.
it. Ooh, who's scoring?
Rodriguez scores the first one.
Rodriguez scores the first one.
Really?
You should probably sprinkle some money on that. I bet you get some good odds on that one.
Yeah, him just get a point. I think it was sitting around 2.
Then there's going to be a defensive from the top of the blue line
See it,
of the
I can
corner.
See it working.
He's looking off
Yeah.
into the
A defensive goal by
Who's
the
scoring that one?
Oilers.
Who's scoring it?
Guess what? I didn't even know OEL was playing for.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea. And
Oliver
his
Ekman-Larsson?
Yeah, and his
Yes.
facial covers it, and he looks very frail. He's close to done, I think.
Well, dude, those guys have been playing for a year.
Yeah, forever.
Like, come on, give them a little credit.
That's true. They've been playing a long time.
Give 'em-
I don't.
give 'em
I
When we
can't-
talked earlier today, I was actually shocked. There's only one WHL player on Florida,
What is wrong? Okay. You got
That's
and he
why
hasn't
they're
even
not gonna
played.
lose.
It's
Yeah.
Josh Maher. I don't know.
So
So there's going to be a
Anyways.
defensive goal. I don't know who's. I can't visualize who's going to do it, but the guy will have a beard.
I bet $500 that Skinner scores the first goal.
there he is.
Stuart Skinner did score a goal in the WHL. For the record, he did.
I'm going to be a very rich man when he scores
Yeah.
that first goal.
The first goal's a little bit tough.
Draisaitl hasn't scored in how many games?
He hasn't scored all series, has he?
Yeah. So there's due that he's going to take the lead for the Oilers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Perry, but now it's going in and out, and
The
Zach
worm.
Hyman just stole Perry's goal in my brain. So Hyman's going to score a goal. It'll be 3-1. Then there'll be no scoring for all of the second period. That's all the first period.
Wow.
Period 3, Florida comes back, ties it up.
They
Oilers score.
they are a good comeback team.
Yeah,
too.
Oilers then get a lucky break where there
This
should
is
have been an
phenomenal, by the
offside
way. This is
play,
phenomenal.
right? Should have been an offside. McDavid tucks it backdoor to
I can't wait to replay this.
Yeah, me too.
to Hyman again. Hyman's on the doorstep again. Crazy. He got
That's
on
where
the
he
ice.
lives.
What are
He's the
odds,
garbage
really?
man.
Yeah.
And then empty netter. Oilers win to go to Game 7, and I'm not predicting.
I want Game 7 just for the off chance
Yeah.
that Sportsnet decides to use Saving Me as that pregame montage, like that 2006 one, Game 7, Oilers and Hurricanes,
Oof.
Nickelback Saving Me.
no, it's gonna
Unbelievable,
be-
one of the best playoff montages ever.
It's going to be
Gets the
hunters
blood
and
pumping.
collectors, obviously, by the Dufferin Ave Media Network.
Oh,
You didn't listen all day here.
Still don't know who's going to make that video.
Yeah,
Tomorrow
That was,
night.
very interesting. Okay, so we got, looks like we're going to have a Game 7. That's good. It looks like there's going to be some rebuilding going on with the Blaze, but maybe not as much as we thought. Thanks to Debbie for letting us know on that. We got a NHL draft coming up with Saskatoon boys. Is there anything else we need to touch on, fellas, before we get the play out
Janmark.
piano?
Janmark scores a goal.
He's due
Oh,
too.
weird. Crazy.
shorthanded maybe.
Maybe that's that.
like
Him and Connor
Ollie
Brown have
Blaze.
been kind of
Yeah,
lights out
so
on
good.
that PK1.
It's good PK.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the question?
I just want to know if there's anything else you want to talk on before we get the piano playing us out.
Is this the time?
We did it. Look at the clock.
Holy. We're not playing the piano for 6 minutes.
Well, we usually talk a little bit before we let the piano go.
There is one thing we didn't discuss.
Lay it on me.
I believe.
Okay. Hold on.
When
Hold on.
was
Whoa, hold on. Do you believe? Go ahead.
Interesting. No, you talked about did you talk about the young guys coming up into the system for the Blades, who they might add, who might be their 15, 16-year-old?
Kind of. Like
kind
Zach Olsen, they took in the second round last year. He'll be good.
Okay.
And then Colton Witherspoon played some games this year. Braden Klimke played some games this year.
Witherspoon, where's he from?
Brandon. He played for that U18 AAA team that went to Nationals with him and
That's a good one.
the
Roger McQueen.
they were Roger McQueen maybe.
No, he was there. He was on the team, but he got hurt. He was first line center.
Well, the Wheat Kings, yes. I'm talking about like the U18 AAA team, like the
Yeah, the one, like the World Championship.
No.
No.
Oh, I thought we were
We're
talking
talking
World.
or U17 the
Yeah.
yeah.
Clearly, we know
That's
what we're
good.
talking about when it
Yes,
comes to.
absolutely.
Well, I'm just
hockey.
saying, this guy's a sweet insider, and we got to tap into that more.
I think he just proved it. Would you not say he proved it? Did
He
you write
said
him
a
a
lot of
contract?
names. He even said a name that's being drafted in the NHL, and we just wanted to make sure that everybody knew, because nobody knows. Some people
I
don't
was
know-
the one that
knows
brought
we're
the
talking about
name
NHL.
up. I didn't remember it, but I knew there was a guy.
Just
We're
That's
learning. We're growing.
I just know
together.
way too much about the WHL.
And that's
I
why
don't-
you're
not
here.
sure.
Perfect.
That's
What do I always say with this place? This whole place has been built by people that know how to do stuff that I don't know how to do. And I'm learning I don't know how to do anything, including talk about the dub.
I don't know if you were there. You might have been. Should I?
He's going to play us out
World.
right away. Here
Yeah,
we
that's
go.
fine. World Juniors. Like Bob McKenzie won't watch this probably, right?
He might.
Do I tell my pocket dog story?
shout out Bob McKenzie if he is watching though.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell it.
Like it's an amazing story.
Hold on. Can you do it in a minute and a half?
Well, the piano's playing.
Yeah.
So maybe Bob doesn't know what I'm saying.
Well,
Doesn't
no.
get a read from my voice.
We're
if
still
I'm
going to
judging
hear
him or
what
not.
you say.
All right. So this is the World Juniors in Saskatoon,
2010, yeah.
2010. Good call. And I went to the washroom, and then I was cruising past just to reload some guys with some beers. I had my full. I think I was just casually drinking at that time still.
Nice.
And then I grabbed a couple beers for some fellas. And then as I'm going up, what section's on the back corner? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like section 17 or something like that. I'm heading back to my seat at the end, and I go and look, and I stop in my tracks, and there's Bob McKenzie fueling up, right? Like he's
Bob
hungry,
father,
and you
yeah.
don't have a lot of time. Like I was just like, man, he's kind of close. He's racing in between, like having to talk while the game's going on, and he races. And that year, SaskTel Center, whoever was doing the food services there, invented something called the pocket dog. Essentially, it was just a corn dog off the stick. And if you can picture that, I stopped in my tracks and I was going to say, "Hey, Bobby." Instead, I didn't want to interrupt the man because he was famished is a word when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry
correct?
for the dog.
I always thought famished would mean I'm not hungry anymore when I was younger, but I learned that it actually meant you're still hungry.
Reverse.
So I stop, I look at this guy, and I watched him two bite a pocket dog. Two bite a pocket dog. You know those little 2-bite brownies? Pocket dogs aren't that big. He just went, oh, boom.
He had
And one
places
was
to be,
gone,
man.
and he had to get back, right?
Yep.
And then he was like, he went back with one. And I just think, Dutchie was like, did you get me one? Probably. And he's like, no, I just got one pocket dog.
So he bought two
He
and
got
didn't tell
two.
anyone about the second.
And he bit.
I've
it
done
was
that.
very impressive.
It is a great story.
Like a duck.
Wow. The Dragon. Great job, my friend, as always. You're amazing. I love and appreciate you. CTV's Matt Young stopping by like he always does on Thursdays. Ugly Kid Joel in the house getting you ready for all the music stuff that he loves to do. You can hear him tonight, 8 p.m. on Hometown Rock. And to this man, our WHL insider. His name is Devin. We call him Debbie. He's my dude. He's my goalie. Thank you so much for stopping by, buddy. That's great. You got a lot of
thanks for
info in
having me.
there. You know, like that was pretty good. And the coach number 2. Thank you for your Bob McKenzie dog eating story.
No problem.
That's
Anytime.
really good. I feel like I sort of wanted him to know that that was a moment.
For me, it was. For him,
That was just a
It was
Tuesday.
It was just another World Juniors day,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
and I had just learned the Heimlich maneuver.
Of course.
ad through work or whatever.
you, like,
at a
were you
safety
spotting
training,
him like
I was
he was
just like,
doing
no.
bench
I was
press?
just thinking, I was like, this
You
could
were
go
like,
one or two
yeah.
ways. Like I get,
You're like, I'm gonna have to give the Heimlich to Bob McKenzie right now.
or I go buy a pocket dog and get him to autograph it,
Yeah.
because those things definitely don't.
That would be
mold,
amazing.
for sure. They
That's it for today. Thank you again to you guys. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll miss you so much. Until then, have a great rest of your night.